Today's topic will be NMN. And what the hell is it? Why has it become so popular? Is it something new? Is it something that has been around and maybe just rebranded? What's good? What's bad? We know there's always something good about some things, and as there's always that threshold where you overreach, it might backfire. So, David, do you want to take it away and explain what is NMN? What is it used for? What it should be used for? And is there any drawbacks from maybe taking it before assessing yourself if you need it?
Yeah, those are all great points. And just like you alluded to, everything comes with a cost. We're going to discover some of that stuff today. So, some of the things. So right now you should be looking at a screen of the electron transport chain, which is the mitochondria, right? And you'll notice here that people, and again, this is known. This is why they're preaching that you should take it. NMN is because it restores NAD plus. So this molecule right down in here. The problem is a lot of people don't understand what that molecule is doing. Right? Like they don't fundamentally see, oh, that is a donor, right? So if you look right here, there's a little black arrow and it says NADH, and it donates its hydrogen and electron to this cytochrome number 1, and that turns into NAD plus. And that means that NMN makes more of this, and it does this through a couple different mechanisms right here. So here's the easiest way to explain. You need to know what NAD positive is before you can really understand whether NMN is good or not. NAD positive plus an electron plus a hydrogen makes this NADH. So that's high energy, and it's going to donate its energy to your electron transport chain, and then it gets turned back into the low energy state of NAD plus. So think of NAD plus like a magnet that's positively charged, and then the electron and the hydrogen get attracted to it, and now it can donate them again, and it continues to do that. Okay. NADH, where does it get that electron and that hydrogen? It gets it from your food. Okay, it gets it from your food. So we've discussed this a little bit on the autophagy and the apoptosis video of how at this cytochrome 1 and cytochrome 2, there's NADH and FADH. Those come from food. Okay, so the NAD plus gets its H back from the food. Now, NMN, whether there's two variants, right? And when you take NMN, it will be sliced up by other mechanisms in your body into NMNAT1 or 2. And all that means is that it's going to increase, if it's the 1, it's going to increase NAD plus in the nucleus of the cell. Or if it's NAD2, it's going to increase NAD plus in the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay. Now, here's the thing. And so right away, you think, oh, okay, you have more magnets that can now collect food, hydrogen, and electrons, right? Overall, that seems like a good thing. Here's the issue. The hydrogen needs to come from this right here. It needs to come from fatty acid burning. So right here, you will notice that in glycolysis, NADH collects an H from the glucose molecules and turns it back into NADH. So NAD turns into NADH from glucose coming into the bloodstream. Then over here in this right here is fatty acids, okay? NADH turns into NAD. So the natural place where your body makes its own NAD is in the fatty acid metabolism. So fats donate their hydrogen to NADH, and then when they are burned, when the fats are burned, that makes NAD. Okay, so if you think about it, glucose restores the H back, and a couple other processes also restore the H back. But fatty acid burning takes the H away and makes more NAD plus. So that H is special. That H only comes from one place. The hydrogen comes from one place, and that's fatty acid metabolism. So what does that mean in the research today? And the research says aging is associated with low NAD. And so if we give you NMN, we raise NAD. And then you go, okay, but there's probably a reason why NAD went low to begin with. And that tells you that your fatty acid metabolism is underperforming. So when you register low NAD, and that's the other thing, right? A lot of people start taking NMN. They don't even know if their NAD is low or not. They just start taking it and potentially feel a little bit more energized. And that may be true if you're not too broken. And what I mean by that is if your fatty acid metabolism is providing the right H, because this H is special. It only comes from fats, and fats are deuterium depleted. All fats from animals are deuterium depleted. And that's important because that means that now that H has a lot more impact. It's kind of like high octane gas versus low octane gas. It will help the processes in the body go much more smoothly if that is a special H, deuterium depleted hydrogen versus a deuterium heavy hydrogen. That it only comes from fatty acid metabolism. It doesn't come from sugar metabolism.
Yeah, and that's something we have covered in previous videos about deuterium depleted water and whatnot. So
yes.
or
So
info on that, they can check previous videos.
yeah, absolutely. So NMN will raise NAD plus because of these mechanisms that I stated over here. When you take an NMN, it'll either raise NAD plus into the cytoplasm or the nucleus. So now those places now have the potential, again, the potential to collect the correct hydrogen to give it back to energy production. Remember, you have to remember that NAD is low energy. NAD doesn't do anything until it gets an electron and a hydrogen and turns into NADH. Now it can do something. So just because you took an NMN and you make a whole bunch of NAD doesn't guarantee that you're going to make energy. You still have to have the hydrogen and the electron that come from your food, specifically from fatty acid metabolism, to turn into this, to restore it, right? And if your NAD plus is low, that tells me that your fatty acid metabolism is broken. It's not working very well. So aging lowers NAD plus. Aging also means that your metabolism isn't working very well. It's a natural process. So if you take NMN and your fatty acid metabolism isn't working very well, you're not going to add the electron and you're not going to add the H and you're not going to get this high energy substrate. So you could be taking lots and spending lots of money on high quality NMN and still not be getting a high energy yield because there's other processes involved here.
And it's certainly
right?
something
So that's
not everyone responds to it.
Very well. Yes. Yep. Not everybody will respond positively to that because if your fatty acid metabolism is not broken, then it stands true. Yes, you will be able to take NMN and benefit from it because you will raise this pool of positively charged molecules and you'll attract these molecules from your food and you'll create this high energy substrate. But because these are contingent on your fat metabolism, they won't work very well if that system is broken. What do we know about fat metabolism? We know that fat metabolism takes your fatty acids and cholesterol and oxidates them, right? That's fatty acid oxidation, right? That means that you have to have a good ability to deliver oxygen to your tissues, aerobic capacity, not being hypoxic from indoor lighting, that sort of stuff. So if you take NMN and you are living a crappy lifestyle, you're still going to have low energy, right? You have to fix the lifestyle to make sure that you're not hypoxic so that you can burn fats, so that you can donate the H, that special H, to the NAD plus to make it NADH.
And it also
does that make sense?
Counterproductive because if you take care of that, you will have more energy.
Correct. Right. So people that have really good circadian rhythm hygiene, they spend enough time outside, they're actually not going to experience much of a benefit from NMN. The people that are just kind of getting held off track. So in other words, their fatty acid metabolism hasn't been disrupted, but it's starting to get disrupted and they have low NAD plus. If they take NMN, they will notice a benefit. And then if you
And
continue to let
that
that
is probably most of the people now.
yeah, most people that are, in their 20, 28, 32, 33, in that age, they haven't been metabolically deranged for very long. So when they take NMN, they will probably experience more energy because their fatty acid metabolism is not disrupted enough. Now, as you get older, if your fatty acid metabolism has been disrupted for a long enough time, well, you're not going to be able to burn fats as well, and you're not going to be able to donate that hydrogen to that NAD plus to create the high energy substrate. It just isn't going to work. Now, here's the thing: what makes NAD plus more attracted to those things, right? Because just making it is one thing, right? But magnets come in different strengths. You can make a magnet stronger or weaker. Something that a lot of people don't know is that NAD plus is actually a protein, essentially, right? That's tuned to a specific frequency of light. That frequency of light is 340 nanometers. That is UVB. So UVB will make the little bit of NAD plus, even without taking in NMN, more efficient at gathering the H, the hydrogen from the food. So you can increase, you can take NMN with solar exposure, and you will dramatically increase the efficiency of that system as long as your fatty acid metabolism isn't broken. So that is kind of the lowdown on NMN. Is it useful? Yes, it will do the thing that it says. It will create more NAD plus, but that is not energy. You still have to provide that hydrogen and that electron from your food intake or from sunlight. Because what did we, in one of our previous episodes, what did we say about melanin? It separates water. What is water? It is hydrogen and oxygen. So that hydrogen that I said that has to be attached to the NAD plus, it can come from fats because that's deuterium depleted, or it can come from the water in your body when it's exposed to 340 nanometers because it'll separate the hydrogen from the water, from the oxygen molecule.
And it's as if you almost described the perfect blue zone setting. Hey, live like that, get yourself outside, eat some high fatty content foods, and you'll have plenty of energy, and your longevity is taking care of it itself.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the blueprint for those blue zones, right? They have optimized NAD plus because fundamentally they're providing the H all the time to the NAD plus to make lots of high energy molecules, right? So that's the lowdown on NMN. It could be useful, it could not, because it's only a step in making energy. It is not the final product. And even taking NAD by itself, right? Because you can buy injectable NAD, that's also not going to guarantee that you have a high energy molecule. You still have to provide the H either from fats or from sunlight directly.
So basically, if you are taking NMN and it doesn't work as much as, or you don't feel any difference whatsoever, it might be extremely beneficial to just check up with your daily habits and what are your nutritional habits as well, because that small change alone might make that supplement actually way more useful than just taking it and hoping for the best.
Correct. That's 100% true. There are some other details. There are some contraindications, and we'll just go over them very quickly. Right? If you make a lot of NAD plus, but you have the H donate to that, that can also be problematic because that disrupts the other signaling molecules because I showed how NAD plus can raise at the cytoplasm and at the nucleus. You don't know which one is happening. If it raises a lot in the nucleus, remember that has no energy. It's not donating any energy. It's waiting for energy to go to it. So that will actually tell your nucleus that you are in a low energy state because it sees lots of NAD plus and no NADH. So you could actually accelerate aging if you continually have a lot of NAD plus and you're never providing the H, whether that's from good fatty acid metabolism or good hydrogen separation from water from sunlight.
Yeah. So I think that's a great breakdown of the supplement itself, which is proven to be more popular recent months, years. And as with everything, there is no free fall for anything. Be mindful of how it works. Understand when you should be using, when you shouldn't be using, and maybe also take more care of your daily habits when the supplement use, more often than not, is not even needed.
Yeah. Taking care of those, you will find that you're less likely to want to need to use a supplement. But if you find yourself in a place where you're contemplating the benefits of NMN, the first thing you need to get in check is those lifestyle habits, so that if and when you do take the NMN, it will be beneficial.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, David, and I'll chat to you in the next video.
Thank you.